Dark and stormy. I'm Michael Smerconish in Philadelphia. So, who are we? Are we still the nation of boundless optimism and enormous opportunity? Are we the exceptional and indispensable beacon for the world? Or are we and our fellow Americans angry, depressed, pessimistic, fearful? Are we beaten down by inflation and the presence of millions of migrants who poured across our southern border? These two visions of America, one bright, one dark, are increasingly the proxies for the two candidates, Vice President Kamala Harris, former President Donald Trump. You might think that voters would gravitate toward the glass half full. After all, it worked for Ronald Reagan in 1984. The uplifting Morning in America commercial, still a benchmark against which others are judged. Barack Obama, he embraced the brand of hope. Bill Clinton, literally the man from Hope, Arkansas, that is, called Vice President Harris a president of joy in his speech at the DNC. And then there was Oprah.
And let us choose joy.
After Oprah got a roar from that same crowd by singing joy, I saw an analysis suggesting that psychologists thought it was excellent advice. But Donald Trump has other ideas. Searching for select voters, he keeps getting darker. As noted in USA Today, while Trump has engaged in rough rhetoric since entering politics in 2015, particularly against migrants, he appears to be ratcheting it up in the final weeks of his third general election campaign. In Trump's comments, political opponents have gone from incompetent to mentally impaired. Migrants are murderers with bad genes, and World War III is right around the corner. Just last night, Trump visited Aurora, Colorado, a Denver suburb. The GOP, by the way, has not won Colorado in a presidential election since 2004, and nobody thinks that Colorado is in play this year. But Trump was there to say that Aurora had been invaded and conquered by migrants. The city's conservative Republican mayor said those claims were exaggerated. I used to think that Trump's most divisive words were unscripted, that he was going rogue, that he was causing conniptions among his seasoned staff. After all, if the race is coming down to my neighbors in the Philly burbs, because as go the burbs of Philly, go Pennsylvania and the nation, that would appear to be a losing strategy and message. You're not going to win the moms in Doylestown, Bryn Mawr, and Westchester with fear which engenders division. But now I realize they're not the intended audience. Trump knows he can't win them. Everything is baked in at this point. This is not a campaign interested in persuasion. Instead, it's all about motivation. And those that he's seeking to motivate are individuals who might not otherwise get out to vote. Jonah Goldberg explained it beautifully recently in the LA Times. He said this: it's like the difference between a film buff who'll definitely go to the movies this weekend but isn't sure what to see, and somebody who is interested in one movie but isn't sure it's worth the effort to go to the theater. Why not just wait for it to show up on Netflix? It turns out that there are a lot more wait for Netflix voters than there are indecisive film buff voters. How many are there? Well, remember, 1/3 of eligible voters, about 80 million people, sat out the 2020 election. Goldberg said that Trump's apocalyptic rhetoric might turn off my neighbors, but could move irregular voters to go to the polls. Differences on issues like the border, abortion, even the economy might not motivate them, but the survival of the country, that might be the ticket. Viewed in this light, Trump's outlandish statement about eating cats and dogs in Ohio, or Elon Musk's recent tweet to his 200 million followers, they begin to make political sense. Musk wrote, "Realize if Trump is not elected, this will be the last election. Far from being a threat to democracy, he's the only way to save it." Every time Trump says something that causes you to say, I guess he just lost more votes, remember, the polls show that the race is neck and neck in spite of all that he has said. It's no longer about the undecideds. It's about motivating those who will otherwise stay home. Kamala Harris has not closed the deal. And in the last 7 days, the betting market predicted Trump has gained 9 cents or 9 percentage points.